Intermediate code generation. In this video, we will learn about what is intermediate representation, what are the various ways to represent intermediate code. In the phases of compiler, we have learned up to semantic analyzer. The output obtained from semantic analyzer is annotated parse tree. That annotated parse tree is given input to the intermediate code generator. Intermediate code generator convert the source language into some intermediate representation. From analysis to intermediate code generator is the front end of compiler, and the output obtained from intermediate code is given into the back end of compiler, where optimization and code generation happens. What is the role of intermediate representation generator? Here, the whole phases from lexical analysis to intermediate code is front end and the remaining portion is back end. The intermediate code acts as a glue between the front end and back end. The conversion of source language into machine language may be a difficult task, so we are converting the source language to some intermediate representation. And another facility offering by intermediate representation is retargeting. Retargeting means up to here will be same, and the backend we can change the backend of the backend. For example, if you have a compiler for Windows machine for particular language C, you can up to here you can reuse, and you can use this, you can make a compiler for Linux machine. Now we have to learn what are the various ways to represent intermediate code. Intermediate representation is broadly divided into two. One is linear form, another one is graphical representation. Linear form is again divided into postfix notation and three address code. Graphical representation is divided into syntax tree and directed acyclic graph. These are the common techniques to represent intermediate code. Among these all techniques, three address code is most popular. Now let's see, the first method is postfix notation. This postfix notation you have already learned in your data structure course. That is, postfix means this A plus B, that is infix notation, that is converted into A, B plus. That means the operands and then the operator. For example, A plus B star D. First, what we have to do? We have to convert this portion. Why? This is in the parenthesis, and parenthesis are having the highest priority. That means we get BD star. Now we have to handle this plus operator, and the one operand is A, another one is BD star. So A, B, D star plus. Now another example is A plus B star A plus B plus C. So first we have to consider expression in the parenthesis. So this one first. A plus B is converted into AB plus. Now again another parenthesis here, and we have converting A plus B plus C. Here plus and plus having same priority, so we have to be left associative. So initially we are converting A plus B, that is we got AB plus. Now we are handling this plus and C, so we got AB plus C plus. Now we can handle this star operator and we got output as like this. Another example is this one. Here this operator, this one here, this minus C, that is unary minus, that has to be done initially. That means C U minus is completed. Now we can convert B star minus C, that is B C minus star. Now we can convert this portion, and here again C minus, then we can handle this star, so we got B C minus star. Then we have to handle this plus the both operands we got here, that means we are given plus here. Now the operand is assignment. The first operand is A and the second operand is this one, and the operator is assignment.
Now we can learn what are the various graphical representation. Two commonly used graphical representations are syntax tree and DAG. Syntax tree we already learned in our previous class. Here the syntax tree is representing the hierarchical structure of the source program. DAG stands for Directed Acyclic Graph that identifies common sub-expressions in the syntax tree. Here, initially on a particular string, using the grammar, we make the syntax tree, and in the syntax tree, we identify any common expression there. That expression getting replaced in DAG. For example, consider this statement x minus y star x minus y plus z. So we have to construct the syntax tree. Initially, we are starting from this minus. That means we got minus x minus y. Then we can perform this star, and the right operand is x minus y plus z, and this plus operator, it has two operands, one is x minus y, another one is z. So this plus as left operand is x minus y, that means x minus here, and the another operand is z. This syntax tree you have to construct by considering the associativity and precedence of operators like we did in our previous class. So, what is the difference between a parse tree and syntax tree? In the parse tree, we are given as e-gives. We are giving our grammatical variables. E-gives like e plus t, like that we are given. In the syntax tree, the internal nodes are operators and leaf nodes are variables. Now, in this case, identify whether any common expression present here. This x minus y and this x minus y is common. So, why should we do both times? In this case, the common expression is identified, that is x minus y is identified. On getting x minus y on the second chance or another time, we don't perform x minus y again. Instead, we point to the already existing part. So here, up to here, this x minus y, this portion we have completed. Now the star, here for the plus operator, we again require x minus y. That is already in this parse syntax tree. So we are connecting to that node. That means from this plus, we are connecting an arc to this minus. That is DAG. In the coming, we can learn some more examples and you may get clear. In this example, x equal to a star b plus a star b. First, we construct the syntax tree. X equal to Then the another operator is plus. For plus, we have two operands A star B and A star B. So one operator is star and here star. The operands are A, B, A, B. This is the syntax there. And in this expression, we have seen A star B. A star B is common. That is identified in case of directed acyclic graph. So, we start directed acyclic graph construction. X equal to, then the main of the operator is plus. For plus, one operand required is A star B, another one is A star B. So we'll perform A star B. Again, this right operand is again what? This A star B. Do we need to calculate? Do we need to perform this again? No. What we can do? We can redirect to the already existing portion. So this is dark. The most common popular method of intermediate representation is three-address code. As the name indicates, each statement can have at most three addresses. For general form of a three-address code is A, B, operator C. Here the statement having three addresses A, B and C, and on RHS it can have at most one operator. A can be variable names or temporary variables like we did like T1 or T2, like that A can be, and B and C can be variable name, constants or temporary variables. OP is any operator. Each statement can have at most three addresses and one operator to represent the expression. So in short, this three address code in each statement having maximum three addresses, that means at most three address, and how many operators possible? At most one operator possible. Now these are some examples of three address code. The first example is, let's consider this example, x equal to a plus b star c. To perform this expression, which subpart has to be evaluated first? So which intermediate result we require? B star c. That is T1 equal to B star c. Then we can perform A plus B star c, that is T2 is equal to A plus T1. T1 already has the result of B star c. Now the right RHS part is completed. Now we can perform the assignment operator, that is x equal to T2. Hope it is easy. First we have to find the intermediate result to perform the whole statement. Initially the statement x equal to a plus b star c, that violates three address property. Why? How many addresses it has? 1, 2, 3, 4 addresses. And how many operators it has? This more than one operators this expression has. Now consider this statement a plus b star a plus b plus c. Here, to perform this expression, we require intermediate result of a plus b and intermediate result of a plus b plus c. Let's compute first. So T1 equal to A plus B. Then to perform this expression, we require A plus B, then plus C. So T2 is equal to A plus B, then T3 is equal to T2 plus C. So we got both A plus B and A plus B plus C. Now we can perform this star. T4 is equal to T1 into T3. What T1 contains? A plus B. What T3 contains? T2 plus C. So this one is the three address representation of this sort statement. Now consider this example. A equal to B star C plus B star D. To perform this plus operator, we require B star C and B star D. So let's initially compute T1 is equal to B star C, T2 is equal to B star D, then T3 is equal to T1 plus T2. Now A equal to T3. You may wonder what is the need of doing these T1 and T2. Why can't we reuse T1? Because both T1 is performing A plus B and T2 is performing A plus B. That part is performing in code optimization. Now, the important topic is what are the various ways to implement this three address code. There are three important ways to implement three address code: quadruples, triples and indirect triples.